Talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy. Write it down and write it out, hoping it would save me. Too many times, my love, he makes it feel like nobody else, nobody else. Oh, my love, he knows I love me, so I tell myself, one, don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone. Two, don't let him, you have to kick him out again. Three, don't be his friend, you know you're gonna wake up in his bed in the morning. And if you're under you will get it.
Score from Neymar, taken on here by Coutinho. What a goal!
I keep pushing forward, but he keeps pulling me backwards. Now I'm standing back from it. I finally see the pattern. He knows I'm a beast, so I tell myself, what do? One, don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone. Two, don't let him in, you have to kick him out again. Three, don't be his friend, you know you're gonna wake up in his bed in the morning. And if you're under him, you will get it.
Truly deserving champions of the world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the International Break Podcast. I'm your host, Stefano. Joining me today in studios today is Biagio Aversano. Biagio, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm good. You?
Not too bad, Biagio. We're through our match day 1 results. And for Russia, it's their match day 2 today. Biagio, we've had some crazy results. In this World Cup, some underdogs coming through, some upsets. It's been I can't even explain to you what this World Cup is brought emotion-wise to the table. Biagio, how's your emotions right now in terms of the craziness of this tournament so far?
After watching many games of match day 1, I mean, a lot of shocking results. I mean, there's some that I predicted this, and it's just some games have just turned the other way. This is by far out of all the World Cups I've watched, probably a really different one. Like one that not very expected at all. And before the tournament started, I don't think anyone would have predicted any of these results to be happening. But yeah. Surely it's going to be an interesting World Cup going into match day 2 and match day 3 for the other groups, because it's only been the first game.
Yeah, going to Group A, the hosts Russia picking up their second win. Another win, the second win of the group. Uruguay, who thought that they were going to be top leaders of the group, struggled against a tough Egyptian side. Biagio, they scored a late winner. Is Uruguay, as strong as people think, or do you think this team is just an average team like everybody else in this tournament?
Honestly, I think before coming into this tournament, I thought Uruguay had a star-studded team. I think they were easily going to top the group. I honestly didn't. I'm going to be honest here. I didn't put Russia. I thought they were going to get eliminated. I put Egypt second. I don't know. I just felt that Russia were just not up for the task, up for the challenge, and they proved everyone wrong. But Uruguay, definitely. I don't think even if they win, the only way they can pass Russia and get to first place is by beating them. But if they try to beat them on goal differential, there's no chance, because Russia have just been phenomenal. Just They scored 8 goals in 2 games. It's crazy.
Yeah, Russia, that first game against Saudi Arabia, and then today another victory over Egypt. Before we go to Group B, this group wasn't really. We had an idea. I know you said Egypt. I with Salah injured, didn't you see the results being the way they are? Biaj, him being injured isn't at full potential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Definitely was a shock. The fact that Egypt didn't really struggle that much against Uruguay without Salah, and then they brought in Salah, and they just got a shocking game against Russia. It was a bit of a twist to the tail. He did get a goal off a penalty, but it looks like um, it looks like Egypt's road to the World Cup looks like it's gonna end. They're mathematically they have a chance if Saudi Arabia beat Uruguay and then Egypt win their last game against Saudi Arabia, it'll be like a tally of 3 points. But it all depends now on like goal difference and stuff. So right now Egypt are sitting in third with 0 points, and they got -3. Uruguay have +1 with a game in hand. Unless Saudi Arabia can miraculously pop in maybe like 2 or 3 goals against Uruguay, I don't see Egypt. Mathematically, they have it. They still have a chance, but realistically, I think their World Cup journey has come to an end.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I don't see Egypt and Saudi Arabia doing what they need to do for one of them. Well, for Egypt to advance, anyways. I see Russia and Uruguay going through, but going to the next group, Biaj, Iran, a late winner against Morocco, Portugal, Spain, in what was a thriller. Biaj, Portugal, going into this tourney after their big win at Euro 2016, did they surprise a lot of people, or was it just maybe a bad day at the office for certain gents?
Uh, you talk about Portugal, Spain. Like, do you think it was a bad day at the office for Spain?
Well, De Gea in particular,
Yeah, that wasn't. Portugal, I find honestly didn't deserve to win that game. After that first goal, the penalty that Ronaldo scored, I felt they just sat back, and Spain just couldn't break down their defense just because they kept sticking to one side. And then after scoring that goal from Diego Costa,
Yeah.
it just the momentum just it just they just woke up, and then that really bad mistake. I mean, at that level, you can't be making mistakes like that De Gea made. But everything just collapsed after that. Portugal got
Hmm.
brought their game back up again. Same tactic. They just went back to defensive. Then Spain, popped in 2 goals, and that's when it started to get intense. And then you just see that free kick. I mean, it was a good free kick by Ronaldo, but easily could have been avoided if the wall was placed a bit better. But overall, I don't think Portugal deserved it. But they got the point. And when there's two European giants like this clashing, I think it's to be expected that you're gonna see a tie or just a lot of goals being scored.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I think on with that wall and even De Gea, I think he was just rattled by that second goal. I would say,
Yeah,
it's Ronaldo outside of the box. I'm a keeper myself. You kind of you get handcuffed, right? So everybody says
yeah.
he's a world class goalie. This year for United he played. Had a great year. It's a bad day at the office. Stuff happens. I know it's at the biggest stage of the world, but it handcuffed him. Went in, and the free kick too. Like the wall. I mean, who was placed in the? You can look at a lot of analytics, but for me, it was you're 6'2", 3, and you got to get across, and he didn't even make an effort, to jump at it, dive at it, right? And Ronaldo's not going to your side, right? He's going, to that. He's going over the wall, like where it's going. You take an
Didn't
extra
he
step, you
on
cheat a little bit,
on
no
the free
behind,
kick?
and you
Didn't he
just
just
you
stand
just
there?
throw yourself at it, like Navas did for in the Costa Rica game. He didn't get to it, but he made an attempt for it, right?
On the free kick, didn't he just stand there? Like
Yeah, he
he
was
just
stunned. It was
yeah.
like handcuffed, like another goal where he was like, he didn't expect it. Like it's Ronaldo. Like I'm sure they watch a lot of film before the tournament. Like
Yeah, the
he's not
practice.
going to go across your body. He's not Jovinko in the MLS, right? He's going over the wall. he's gonna pick that top left corner or top right
Yeah,
corner
I
for
saw it
Ronaldo,
before it
right?
even came. I saw it before it even came. I knew he was gonna place it. That's where you need to like set up the wall strategically by putting. You have to put the tall players on the side, on near the ends of the wall, and then shift them more outward. So uh, he has to curve it more around the wall, and that'll give De Gea more time to dive. But it doesn't look like he was going to make an effort. He just stood there. He was stunned. The ball just went in, and it was a great free kick and a great end to the game.
Yeah, it was. I have to give. It was a thriller. Spain, did dominate possession wise and in a lot of other aspects of the game, but they got their point, like you mentioned, Portugal, and now Iran, Portugal, the next one up in the group, Spain, Morocco. Biaj, do you think Portugal and Spain take this group despite the 3 points from Iran, or do you think something different?
Yeah. When it comes to Iran, I mean, it's just as soon as the match day one ended in Group B, just flooded with, oh my God, Iran is in first. Oh my God, what's happening? Like, I think people should just calm down. It's only the first game. I mean, Iran played Morocco, and after watching I watched the game. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty boring game. It was getting intense at certain points, but then after that, it was just sloppy plays. Fouls being committed. Um, Players going down over little touches, and then an unfortunate own goal. But there's some own goals that I've seen in the past that you know you can't really blame. He tried to block the shot, deflected, but this one it literally looked like he wanted to like dive in his own net and just
Yeah,
straight up hit it in. And then after the game, the coach of Iran just he had the whole thing about, oh, we played good and I'm proud of these guys. I mean, yeah, we be proud. I think it's their second win and I don't know how long, but
1988, I think it was their
1980.
last time. Yeah.
But honestly, I wouldn't. If I was being honest, I wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, we played a game." I would be like, "Okay, it wasn't our best game. I'll take the 3 points and we move on." Because honestly, if anyone that watched that game, it was very. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. It was a lucky goal. Look, you cross it in. You hope for the best. It was it the 90th minute? It
Yeah.
went in. You know, Heartbreak. I thought Morocco was gonna take it. I feel like they just had the a bit of an edge over Iran. But that's what the World Cup. That's the whole sport in general.
Mm,
Upsets.
yeah.
Changes, twisted deal. But
Yeah.
overall, I think Portugal, Spain easily going to top the group.
Yeah.
After all the games are played.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I know. I said I laughed at the same thing. I saw everybody, Iran. It's like, guys, relax. They played
It's only
Morocco.
match day
It
one.
was a 1-1 game. It was a 3-3 game, and the Spain game. Like let's take it easy. Let's wait till the other match days are through, and we'll go from there. As for our next group, Biage, we have France, Denmark, Australia, Peru. France with a 2-1 win, and Denmark with a 1-0 win. Although Peru, in my opinion, did play a better game. Biage, do
Yeah,
you,
they did.
do you see these two teams advancing, or you see Denmark, or you see maybe Peru? What do you think about that one?
Um, my prediction finally, this one actually ended up going the way I expected. I said France first and Denmark second, and then Australia, Peru. Uh, Honestly, after watching the Denmark Peru game, uh, Peru choked that one so badly. Like Denmark have a good team, but they're just missing you know, a bit of that, a bit more oomph. Like just they're missing that edge to be such a great team.
Yeah,
And
I think
Peru
it's
had the yeah. What? Go
I
go
think
ahead.
it's the lack of that one superstar, right?
Yeah,
Like you look at Portugal, obviously they're a great, team throughout, and I wouldn't compare Portugal, Peru. Portugal's more talented side, but they're
yeah.
missing that one guy who's going to step up and lead the way, and I think that's what they were missing in that game against Denmark. And Denmark, they got their one chance. Well, not their one chance, but they got that chance, and they buried, and they won 1-0, right?
That's the thing. You can look at the game. You could be like, okay, but Peru had more chances. But Peru had such a chance. Like you would think of it. You're like, if you're a Peru fan, I would be really mad because they had such a great chance, just like shocking the headlines, beating a European team like this with that missed penalty. That was just awful. Awful composure. He
Yes.
stuttered. He hesitated. He didn't pick a side, and then ultimately, and they missed so many chances with the post, and it just the level of creation was good. And then as soon as you had to finish the job or finish the play, they weren't like decisive. They were hesitating in the box, and it just didn't work out for them. And Denmark, honestly, even though they didn't get that much possession, they didn't have that many shots, and they defended a lot. They took their opportunities. That's what matters. They got those few shots on goal, and one of them went in. It was a well placed finish by Poulsen and a nice run. But all in all, Denmark, they went there. They did have less chances, but they put them in. That's what Peru failed to do.
Exactly. Now, Biaggi, the France Australia game, we saw the use of the VAR in what my opinion was a soft penalty on Griezmann, and then the Australians got one back, and then a lucky own goal. I would say
Yeah,
by Pogba off his foot, off the defender's foot.
yeah.
Like does France look like that powerhouse team that we saw at the Euros? In my opinion, I think like the Aussies are always they've always been a pesky team, but
Yeah.
France, another team that lacked, they have all the tools, to win a World Cup. That the keeper, the solid center back, good, on the wing, defensively, offensively, but they lack that. I can't even think of the word right now. That that teamwork, the chemistry of everybody. It just didn't look like it was there.
Honestly, after watching that game, it was a bit like a lot of people expected France to just go into this game and just it would be a complete blowout because they have a very they have a team full of star players and just as good players. Like their starting 11, they have subs just as good as the starting 11, and that's what you need in a good team. But then you look at this game, and I'm honestly gonna let them slide on this one. I think it was just a bad game, but they're one of the few European teams. I think it's them, Belgium, and England that picked up 3 points out of because a lot of European teams dropped them in the first match day, which was very shocking overall. But France, they got away with it, but just like slightly. On the Griezmann penalty, I I could see
Yeah,
why
just
the
not a
ref called
penalty,
it.
Biatch. Yeah,
Yeah,
just not a penalty. Come on. I'm all for technology and
yeah, yeah,
improving the game, but the referee didn't see a penalty. It wasn't blatant. It was a little tap from behind. Like there's no consistency with the VAR, and
yeah,
that's what bothers me. Like a little tap inside the box, is not always a penalty. It's not. I want to see, a brutal tackle in the box, and that's for me a penalty. But when he skins his toe and he does a Broadway dive down, flopping 10 yards across the box. I
yeah,
don't think that was. I know there was contact and they reviewed it and they went back to it.
yeah.
That's not a penalty. Like in real time, it looked like you didn't even touch
But
it, right?
at first, I believe that they didn't give the penalty at first, and then they waited a couple minutes, and then that's when they decided to use VR, right?
Yeah, well, they went to the VA. They went, yeah, exactly. It wasn't a penalty at first, which if you're a ref, you're not seeing that, right? It's a little nick of the back of the guy's foot.
Yeah.
Then they went back 5, 2, 3, whatever it was, and they called it back a penalty. But in my opinion, it's soft. That's not a penalty in my opinion.
Like I can agree with you that it wasn't a penalty, but like if you look in the view of the ref, he takes the VAR, right? Now he has to make his decision. This decision is final when he does that, the signal of the VAR. He goes for the penalty. I could see from his point of view, I could see why it was a penalty because listen, the guy he barely touches Griezmann. I understand that, but it's that swinging motion. It's the fact that look, he's the last man. It's the fact that he wanted that ball, but he just didn't get it, and he committed. And if he would have gotten it, would have been a great tackle. But just because he missed it and he had that swinging motion, the ref took that as a chance to, as a foul. But Australia got one back, and eventually Pogba, I think it was an own goal, and they counted it for Pogba. And then I think the next day they changed it
Yeah,
to
they
a
overruled
own
it.
goal by
Yeah,
Aziz Behich. So
yeah,
sad day for the Aussies. I mean, I would feel bad off a penalty like that. But in
yeah.
the end, France pick up the 3 points.
Yeah, they did. They topped their group over Denmark with the tie.
They're tied, but
Yeah,
they're getting away. That was like a slight win. Like now, if I feel if they're able to beat Peru and Denmark easily, I think that win against Australia was kind of like a bit of a like they dodged the bullet there. You know, they we
Yeah,
picked up the 3 points, but
but yeah,
we barely did it. Yeah,
yeah, and they got to realize that as a team, going
yeah,
forward. That
they got to work on that. Yeah,
yeah, it's got to be a better performance. Now going to Group D,
yeah,
Croatia, in my opinion, I didn't watch every single game, unfortunately, but the games I did watch, I think Croatia by far, well, not by far, but one of the better teams in the tournament so far after match day one. Argentina tying Iceland 1-1.
yeah.
Biag, they did it to Ronaldo. They did it to Messi. This is a great defending Iceland team that could come out of that group. Is it
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah, very possible. I honestly, I'm not even joking. Many people might disagree, but when I did the prediction, I honestly think Argentina, they have such a good attack, kind of a weak defense, but I feel like they're gonna choke so bad that they might actually let Iceland through to the next round. And a team, a strong team like Argentina with world class players, I think they might actually screw this chance up and you know get eliminated from the tournament early, not even make it out of the group stage. Because the thing with Argentina is they have the world class players. The difference is Iceland don't have world class players. I believe some of them are even amateur. The goalies, one of the players is a dentist. One of their goalies is he's a film director. But they have a team that bonds well together. They have a team that's strong. They have good chemistry. They play well together. But they're bang average players. Some of them are amateur. They're not even professionals. And that's the key. That's what gets them the slight edge, no matter how good Messi is or Aguero or Higuain. But when you take a look at that, the penalty miss, you got to do better than that. You know, at this level, when you see that penalty, some people might argue it was a nice save, but he barely made the goalie dive. He barely. I mean, that's the difference when you have to step up to the plate because he's known for like now I heard that there was a Spanish article that they started saying like is Messi, is this his time? Is he struggling now with penalties? He has a tendency now to miss penalties. And they started speculation in this. And he said to the media that he wants to get better at penalties, been practicing, but it doesn't look like it's getting much better. As for Croatia and Nigeria, uh, Nigeria played a pretty good game, but obviously Croatia, they're much stronger. And I believe they're going to top the group over Argentina. But I still believe Iceland's going to make it through. But Argentina, Iceland, still a tough call.
Yeah. For me, it was the lack of they didn't have that final third. They got to the top of the box.
Yeah,
They were playing, bouncing it around, like making great runs, but minus Banega, minus Bilia, there wasn't much action. In terms of shooting wise, like the goalie, although he made a few saves, I think that Argentina was looking for that perfect goal. In the World Cup, we've seen through match day one already that goals could come in all shapes and sizes.
exactly. Doesn't
Well, not sizes, but like
I
a
understand?
deflection, off a head, like you never know,
When
right?
it comes to the World Cup, it's not like you're not trying to like it's not like you're going for the Puskas award. You're trying to go in, oh, best goal of the year. World Cup is a goal's a goal. Whatever the final decision is, as it stands.
Yeah,
You might not play good games, but you manage to get points, and then you play good game, like beautiful football, but you don't get the points. The thing is, you need to get the job done. You get the 3 points, no matter how it is. Own goal, deflection, penalty, handball that wasn't even close to being a handball. Whatever it is, you take it. Take the 3 points. And if you're looking for a beautiful goal rather than just a solid win, even though it wasn't a nice goal, that's how you're gonna get yourself knocked out of this World Cup.
yeah, that's what I said. I mean, you got to get. I think you need more action, especially to goalkeepers, a film director. He made that one nice save towards the end where it looked like it was going to take a deflection. I don't know if you remember that one, Biaggi, and he palmed it away. That one was
Uh,
huge.
oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, do they top? Do they come second? Like you said, Iceland. They're pesky.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to beat Croatia, but pulling away a draw against Argentina, who have a very strong team. I
Yeah,
think they'll easily beat Nigeria, and I think they'll make it.
yeah. But that's how I look at it. Exactly the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Going to Group E, another another shocking event there.
Yeah.
Biag
Before
1-1
Group E,
tie over Brazil tying Switzerland 1-1, Serbia 1-0 victory over Costa Rica. Kolarov, former Lazio, nice free
yeah.
kick. Brazil 1-1. Biag, you know
Um,
what happened here?
before we start with Group B, I just want to get your opinion on the coach's decision to
Send home
substitute
Kalicic.
Kalinic because he had a back problem. What was up with that?
Well, the rumor was that they asked him to go on against Nigeria,
Yeah, and he refused to go on
and he
because of his
refused
back
to
problem.
go on. And all the Milan fans, they were like, "Oh, maybe he's gonna have a good World Cup.
Yeah,
Maybe sell him
maybe
for
he'll
some
improve.
cash." And
And then
he didn't even get off the bench, which I
yeah,
found hilarious.
but I'm honestly shocked. Like a lot of people say, it was the right move to do. I don't know why he would see that. Like maybe he did have. I know he's not ready. There could be some injured players, but
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think you send home a player like that.
yeah,
Home. I
like
mean,
wouldn't you make the physio check him or like give him
well,
a
not
physical
even
evaluation?
that. The fact that he didn't go on, I mean, like, okay, maybe he wasn't feeling up, he wasn't 100%. I mean, other than Mandzukic, um, Jaka came on as a sub. Then they had Kramich, playing Cam. So, I mean, minus, Mandzukic and Jaka, didn't really play much this year. They need him. I think that, he can make an impact coming in off the bench. Um,
Yeah, but a lot of people say I agree with this that Mandzukic is a better striker than Kalinic.
oh
He
yeah,
has he has
100%.
more experience.
Yeah, yeah,
More
100%.
Champions League.
But it's good to put on another player. Like, didn't Kalicic lead the City or he was second in goals for the
Yeah,
Campeonato?
that's with Fiorentina, and then with
Yeah,
Milan, he just went downhill. I think he
yeah,
had like 1 goal this season or 2 goals.
yeah. So for me, like, a player like that who almost won the Campeonato 2 years ago or three, if I think it was two. Um, you know,
You know, it's
you know,
sad to see. It's sad to see a turn like that.
oh yeah, 100%. You don't like to see players like that sent home, right?
Now going with Group E.
Yeah. So I mean, that
Uh,
was like what a like Switzerland. Who would have saw that one coming, right?
Honestly, I was so happy that Swiss. I really wanted them to pull off the win, but yeah, Switzerland pulled off with a tie. Um, what a goal by Coutinho. That's what I have to say. But Brazil, just shocking performance. I think maybe because the again maybe because their players are really scattered. The chemistry is not there. Serbia. I don't know too much about their team, but they got some strong players. I mean, Costa Rica's not a strong team, obviously, but that was a beautiful free kick by Kolarov. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that was amazing. As for Brazil, I predicted them topping the group and Serbia coming second. I felt that Brazil still, even though they have a young team, they have a lot of players that are just new to the team, like Gabriel Jesus, uh, Firmino. I believe he's still pretty, new to the team. So when you have new players like that, you need they need to get used to the team, used to the players, how the play style is. But ultimately, Serbia came out on top. They played the weaker team in the group, so I'm gonna be excited to see what's to come in the next match day for them.
Yeah, for me, my game on that list is Serbia, Switzerland, because I mean Serbia played a Costa Rica side who we saw with Italy, World Cup back where they suffocated us, five in the back. That's why I don't think that score was just 1-0. I think it could have been a lot more than that. I think Serbia's I was me and Stephen Moore. We were talking about our predictions, and he said Croatia is one dark horse, and then he meant I think I mentioned Serbia, and
I put
a little.
Iceland.
It's a little country with some decent players. We saw Milinkovic Savic,
Yeah,
who had a great year a lot, with Lazio this year. And now everybody's after him for over 150 plus mil.
and what
So
they Lazio purchased him for 10 mil. They got him for 10 million. That was
yeah,
crazy profit
from
right there.
Belgium. Where did he come from again? Yeah, do you remember?
Who Serbia? Milinkovic.
Yeah.
I believe a team in Albania or in his home country. I believe I think like 2 years before Lazio signed him in 2015, he was going to become a basketball player and give up his dreams on football. And look now,
Yeah.
look how time changes like that. But it's nice to see that he's playing well.
I honestly, if there's if there's one long shot I would take, is Serbia topping this group. If you look at their roster, I was going through it a couple nights ago in bed before I went to bed. I was like, wow, it's not a bad team.
Yeah.
You got Kolarov, Ivanovic, Tadic, Matic, the Torino, Lajic, Milinkovic Savic.
Yeah, it's those itches, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, the itches,
They're
it
strong.
could be a pain in the butt. And if there's one long shot I'd take, it'd be Serbia winning this group, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like every prediction of making, just using common sense and like basing it off of every international game I've seen. It's literally like a turnaround. This is such a shocking World Cup, but honestly, now the way Serbia played and the way Brazil struggling to find key passes to finish it, I feel like maybe Serbia can easily beat Brazil. I think they have a chance to top this group and get out of Group E in style.
Now, speaking of upsets, a tie isn't bad, but when you lose 1-0 to Mexico, that's an upset. Biage. Mexico winning 1-0 against Germany, Sweden 1-0 against Korea. Did we see that coming at all?
Literally, like my prediction of this group, I mean, after all three match days, it's literally like someone just took my prediction and just flipped it upside down. Sweden, I predicted them last. South Korea, third, and then Mexico second, and Germany fourth, but first. But it's just complete opposite. Germany, I think Mexico, you know, they did play more defensively. They were like Portugal, but they were super, super dangerous on that counterattack with the blistering pace they have. But you can't really like you gotta take this now. You gotta build off it. It's a bad loss for the defending champions. But the fact that you're losing to a team like some of their players play in MLS, you know, some countries like Italy, I know, and MLS players are allowed. That's why Jovinko wasn't allowed back onto the national team because he was playing in MLS. And when you have a team like Mexico, this shock, like you shouldn't underestimate them. I'm not saying they're a bad team. You shouldn't underestimate them. But the fact that they're beating a World Cup champion like that,
Yeah, that's what was shocking for me. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
and I watched the game and I go,
yeah, I watched it too. Yeah.
Germany, they came out flying attacking wise, but defensively they look so like
And
just
again, I think it's because you add too many new faces to the team. They need to get used to. Once you have experience, that's this Werner. He's not. I think he was added to the team this year too. Plattenhart, left back. It's always been either Hector,
weak.
uh, Kimmich. Again, new player to the team. It's always been the face of Germany on that right side. Has always been Lahm. Even at Bayern Munich, it's
Yeah,
always been Lahm. But now when you add, I feel like even though they have a tendency to be good, whenever you add a new face or new faces to a team, I feel it just changes the whole team altogether. And that they need to, get the experience when they get the chemistry. But look, they have plenty of time. They have two more games. South Korea and Sweden, not that strong. Sweden, we're going to talk about soon, but even them, they didn't deserve it. They didn't play a good game as well.
I think like you mentioned Germany. I think it comes with a lot of experience. You look at the last, three teams to win the World Cup, especially defensively. We're talking like the best of the best, right? Germany had, like you mentioned, Lahm, Boateng, the last World Cup, Hummels, Klaus, who was older. Then you go to the 2014 World Cup. I think Puyo was still in that Spain team, PK, Ramos, Jordi Alba.
Times are changing, and now
Yeah,
unfortunately, you're gonna have to add new faces, and it
yeah.
comes with a task. You need to, develop the players, get them experience, because national playing on the national team and club level, they're two did completely different things.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I said. Because you play, and you need the chemistry, right? You can't just
Yeah,
throw on these guys, and hope that, because you're playing beside Hummels and Boateng, you're gonna
yeah,
be
play against them.
outstanding, right? Yeah, that's in my that was my same point, right? Sweden. 1-0 against South Korea. I didn't catch this one. Biagi, did you get this one?
A bit of it, but after looking at highlights and stuff, Sweden did not play a very good game at all, and they ended up getting a penalty. So again, like we stated before, it's not getting the best goals. Look, Sweden got the 3 points, and it was a very very ugly 3 points. They did not play good at all, but that's all that matters now. When Grankvist scored that goal, you could see how much it means to him.
Yeah.
A lot of bitterness from Italian fans seeing Sweden succeed against South Korea, but I feel that they're gonna lose against Germany and Mexico. The fact that they can beat Germany, they can take on Sweden.
I think they topped the group. No Biagi. They win against Sweden, South Korea, and then yeah. I
Obviously, I
mean,
went with Sweden. I'm Italian.
but don't underestimate Korea. They're a little pesky team.
Yeah. Did you hear about the story about what they did at training before the game to confuse?
Yes. They
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
their
They made
number.
like yeah they made like two players or a couple players the same number to confuse Sweden in case there was like spies spying on them in the arena.
Yeah. I
Nothing
saw
really
that story
happened.
too today. Yeah, that's hilarious.
But maybe I feel like don't they revolve too much around Heung-min Son?
That's what it
He's
is. I
a
think
good player.
they
He's a very
just
good player.
yeah. It's more of a one-dimensional team, right? Minus him,
Yeah.
not many guys that not any guys that we recognize, right?
An example of a good team is, Iceland. You need an overall team. Having one good player, you can't rely on one player. And that's basically how you need to view it. You can't rely on one player because one player doesn't make the team. There's 11 players on the field, not one. And when you take a team of average players and then you put one player up top, it's not the right equation for a good team, in my opinion.
hmm Now we go to
Group G.
Group
Yeah.
G. Belgium 3-0 win over Panama. England squeaking out a win against
Yeah.
Tunisia.
God, that was a crazy one. I watched that game.
Bihaj, did you expect Tunisia to put up a fight against England at all? Like I thought this was a blowout in my opinion. No.
Um, Now when you take a look at England, they have a very good team. I believe they had a smooth ride through the qualifiers in their group, but you look at their team and you think this is an easy blow. It's Tunisia. But before I watch this game, I'm like, okay, I'll still watch it. It's not going to be an interesting game. I mean, this looks boring. It looks pretty boring because I mean, it looks like England's going to take it away. But then I just kept watching because I just couldn't stop watching. I'm like, what the hell is happening? I look at Tunisia. Yes, they scored off a penalty shot. You know that I believe their first goalie got injured. I feel bad for that guy. Something with his shoulder, and then a goalie went to replace him. But England it was just like Peru. They just built up, built up, built up. As soon as they had to finish the job with a beautiful play they created, and they just couldn't do it. And they had such nice plays. One play where it was just such a nice play, tiki taka on the side. They bring it into the middle. Rashford could easily just one timed it, and he leaves it for Lingard. No communication whatsoever, and then they just screwed up a big chance. And then it took two Harry Kane. I mean, they weren't nice goals, but look, he did the job. He did his job. As a striker, supposed to score. He got a rebound, and which was already also a nice save from the goalie. But he got a rebound and then a header at the last minute. They're not pretty, but they got the win. Now, which you need to build off that. I mean, I'm obviously the coach wants more. He can obviously do it, but I don't know if you want to be at
Yeah,
that
do you
level
think it
with
was maybe a lack of experience? I know they're one of the younger teams at the tournament. I think they average like a
Harry Kane was
24 and a half years old. I think the average was. Maybe it was a
yeah,
lack of experience, I mean,
yeah.
Sterling's wearing the number 10. So, I mean, it
I wasn't. Who was it before that wore that? It was Rooney.
was Rooney, of
It
course.
was
Yeah.
Rooney.
Yeah.
But
So, I think that's
again,
what they lacked was a little bit of
yeah,
experience.
like you
In
said, they
net,
didn't scoot through it. They
in
scooped through it.
net too. They had like what? I think
Pickford,
12
yeah,
caps between all three keepers.
yeah. I don't know if they took Joe Hart to the World Cup, but I
No,
know
they
if
didn't. No, no
they
Joe
didn't.
Hart.
It was
No.
Pickford, Pope, and Butland. I believe.
Yes, that's what it
So
was.
that's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
Butland, I still believe he's still pretty young. New face to the team. Then you got Pope, crazy season with Burnley. Again, new face to the team, and then Pickford. Sunderland unfortunately got relegated when he had a great season with them. Then he moved to Everton. Obviously, wanted to stay in the Prem. I believe he made some caps in the Europa League for Everton. But again, it's bringing in new faces. You need to, get them experienced. I mean, Pickford's obviously a great goalkeeper, but again, maybe it was but he barely got any shots. I don't think Tunisia took that much shots. It was just that
No.
penalty that
Yeah.
gave them
No.
the breakthrough. And then they were defending so well. They just almost had it. They were almost gonna break the headlines. And obviously Harry Kane did his job. No one was marking him because he was
Yeah.
just
Back of the post. You could have
and
an express.
the goalie should have saved it too. He just watched the goal and it was an easy save. But
Biag, Belgium 3-0 against Panama. Does Belgium look like one of those teams that you put your money on in this tournament after the match day one and seeing all the results?
I think this is gonna cause a lot of hate, but absolutely not. Just because they have a good team on paper, but they just can't gel well together because they don't have that much chemistry. They don't. I mean, obviously, people can disagree with me and look at this game and be like, oh, look, they beat Panama 3-0. But look, it's Panama. They're not that strong of a team. And when you watch the game at the beginning, it just looked like everyone wanted to score. Like the goalie would have wanted. Everyone didn't want to pass the ball. They just want, okay, just try to score goals. It's Panama. Let's make a headline for ourselves at this tournament. Then they woke up. They got their goal. Um, that beautiful volley from Mertens, and then everything just fell beautifully into place. They were finally making plays. Lukaku got that header, and then he got another one. We just chipped it over the goalie. That's what you need. You need to play as a team, no
Team,
matter
yeah,
what the
teamwork.
score is.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
Panama. I mean, I don't really see them. I mean, I don't know how long it's been since they qualified, but good to them for qualifying. They were very happy about it, but I don't think their World Cup journey is gonna last
Too long.
long. No, it won't last too long.
Now, Biaj, before we end the podcast here, we have one more group.
Yep.
What was, for some, the group of upsets, what was your bracket like? Colombia and Poland first? Or was it Japan and Senegal?
Literally, it's like a carbon copy of Group F. It's like I just flipped. Someone just flipped my prediction upside down. Like Japan, gotta say they brought their game strong. Uh, that I believe their first goal was a penalty shot. It was a straight red. That was a stupid. I don't
Reckless.
know if he did it on purpose, but he just gave him a straight red. He blocked the empty net with his hands, so that was stupid to give away. And early in a game, and it's not like 75th minute, 80th minute. You can maybe try to squeeze through. You got to fight through the whole match now. Another um another 87 minutes plus extra time of straight defending with 10 men, and it still 0. They scored. Kagawa converted the penalty, and then kind of a sloppy goal. And, like it was a low shot. Everyone thought it was going to go high from Quintero, and then it was kind of a low driven shot. And the goalie looked like he was going to save it. It was just I was shocked, but they brought one back with 10 men, which was good for them. And then there was a 73rd minute goal by I believe it was Osaka off a header,
Yeah.
which you could just see like they
That
scored
was
that goal.
deflating after
Yeah,
defending for,
it
after
was
getting that goal, and defending that one,
that's
the 1-0 deficit, then scoring and then going back down again. That's like, a shot in the foot, right?
yeah. But for Japan, I mean, you could just see they were so ecstatic after that. I mean, just all that work they put in, they got the 3 points. I'm actually happy for them. When it comes to Poland and Senegal, give your opinion on it if you.
You know, I know that Stephen Moore, um, the co-founder of the Latsile, as well as the internationalbreak.com,
Yeah,
he wrote that piece on Senegal being one of the dark horses of the tournament.
yeah, you told me about it. Yeah,
Yeah, and I read it, and it was a great piece. And honestly, Senegal did not disappoint. I know they Chesney on that one goal. I mean, the defender was a bit lackadaisical. I think Poland didn't look like the side we saw at the Euros.
oh no, definitely not.
They looked slow. It wasn't, lackadaisical is another word for it. And you could tell Senegal wanted it more. No Biage, like the tempo of the way they were
Oh,
playing.
they had so much more fight into it. I mean, the first goal you can't really. It was a deflection, and
Yeah, no,
that's the problem. It's goals like that. Just when you're playing bad, and then something like a goal deflection, it just brings the morale of the team just went so down low. And then that second goal. My God.
What are you doing there? Like I don't
I don't know
understand.
what the defender and Chesney were doing, but literally as that play we just chipped it over Chesney. I just saw screenshots of Chesney with that motion just before he got chipped, and just all over the media, just like De Gea, just constant. It's gonna spread like wildfire after that, and he just ran through that defense and just tapped it in. Simple. They got the job done, and Poland brought one back, but obviously Senegal they
Yeah, it
wanted to
wasn't
more, and they
enough.
got it. They got the job done.
Yeah,
Good job for them.
yeah, it was. It was a good performance for Senegal. Biage, before we finish off the show here, um, talking about the Italians and being Italians, both of us are writers on thealazzare.com.
Yeah.
One word to put it into perspective on Italy not being at the World Cup. How do you feel? Like disappointed? What are the words you want to put into that?
All I have to say is people will look at this after match day one. I know it's not over. I'm not saying it's over. You look at this, people are like, this is a complete chaos of a World Cup. All I have to say is this is what happens when Italy's not at the World Cup. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence, but they're just it's just different. It's
Yeah,
just the perspective of Italians.
that's what it is. But no, but you know what, Biagio? You say it's different, but I was listening to a radio station here in Toronto, and there was a non-Italian who, doesn't talk very much soccer,
Yeah.
and he mentioned the fact that there was that sense of the pride, the the love of the game that we have that's missing this year. And this is coming from a non-Italian, someone who doesn't talk a lot of soccer, and he's going on about how Italy, yeah, them not being there is it's missing, something's missing. And like you said, maybe it's from like an Italian point. We're watching these games,
Yeah.
and I love cultural, but for me, it's disappointment on the result that the Italians had, at the end of the year last year,
Yeah.
um,
Like
firing of Ventura, and it was just a mess.
even after they won the World Cup in 2006 and then 2010, 2014 just failed. They couldn't even get out of the group. Even though they couldn't do that, they couldn't progress to what everyone else did. They went to the knockout stages. They were still there. The thing is, you're making a name for yourself. They have they're a four-time World Cup winning champion. Like it
Yeah,
basically it that's what sets the bar. When you have strong teams,
that's
European
what it
giants,
is.
that's what people look
That's
for in
exactly
football.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you don't have them there, I mean, it's you know, people move on. Obviously, countries they're just playing for their country. Some people don't care that Italy's not there. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
for
say
me, Biag, I know you say that. I mean,
yeah,
for a lot of people that jump the bandwagon come Euro and World Cup time, but for me, it's like it's more than, it goes beyond just cultural and the game. It's our heritage. It's our the passion that we have within us that
just the
makes us,
feeling of
yeah,
even if we would have look, even if Italy would have qualified, we just would have got a blow. Even if we would have lost all three of our games, I still wouldn't care. It's just the fact of being there. It's the build up of the tournament,
yeah,
watching all the other teams play, and this is not just a time point of view. Take it at any point of view. If you're English, you're an English fan. Portuguese, you're a Portugal fan. You just you're watching other games like, oh, if they do good, we might face them in in the knockout stage, and then look at the other side. Maybe if we keep progressing, we might meet each other. That's the whole point, the
yeah.
experience. I mean, you want to experience the World Cup, but if your country's not there,
It's not
it
much of an
brings it
experience.
down a bit. That's what I feel.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that this summer has been a little bit of a downer. But Biag, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, me too.
Um, we'll have our match day two results after, of course, all match day twos are played.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's where we can, we're gonna be building off more off that because
yeah,
this is after match day two, most games get decided, and I'm gonna be excited to talk about games that it's gonna come down to match day three. That's gonna be a really exciting because match day one, I feel it's like
you set the bar though.
yeah,
That's
you
what the
set the
match day
bar
one
for the
is.
rest. That's what
Yeah,
basically what you do. But
yeah,
you can finish off strong. You can. be, at the top and just go straight back down. It's not over
Yeah.
for any team except for Egypt. I believe it's still over for them.
Yeah. Anyways, Biaj, it was nice speaking to you. You can follow us at the INT Break on Twitter as well as on Facebook. I think you can like us on Facebook as well. You can follow me on Twitter at AZZURRO14 underscore. Biaj, do you want to link your Twitter before we go?
Yeah, it's Biagio underscore 2002. That's the Twitter, and I believe it's gonna be on the YouTube channel, so check that out.
Yep. Give us a follow on the YouTube channel as well. Like, subscribe. And Biaj, it was nice talking to you. We'll see you for match day 2. Ciao.